Welcome to Give Me Hope with your host and author, Johanna Vendel. Come join the conversation as Johanna focuses on sharing impactful personal narratives of loss. Her platform provides a safe space for individuals to express themselves, find comfort, and build connections as they navigate their grief journey. So now, please welcome the host of Give Me Hope, Johanna Vendel.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to Give Me Hope with Johanna. Today, we have a story that you are not going to want to miss. It's a story of strength and resilience and building a new life, physically and mentally. Today, our guest in studio is Chelsea Elizabeth, and it's an amazing story. So let's welcome Chelsea. Welcome to Give Me Hope with Johanna, Chelsea.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Fresh out of the hospital, number 22 in the books, and still smiling. What else can you do?
What else can you do? Hey, that is
what else can you do? Think about it. I'm here. I'm speaking. Since this last surgery, this is my fourth time being able to speak, and without the wig and with the black eyes and stitches all over, I'm still me, the me that was behind everything to begin with. You were speaking of rebuilding a life, physically and mentally. It's rebuilding a life in every aspect, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, financially. It's looking at the life that you had and saying goodbye to it. It's burying it, putting it in the ground and saying, okay, now what? What's next? Because I don't recognize anything around me. And
that is a big thing. That's a big step to get used to, because you are you know, and then they will exactly see what happened to you and why you are looking the way you are looking today. But what you are going to tell us is also going to be a story of strength. And this is definitely something that the people will have to realize, that to live a life like you are living this last 2 years is something that you do not want to go through when something like this has happened to you, you know. And we cannot say that it's not going to happen to us. So if you would like to start to share your story, you are very welcome to tell us what happened.
What a lot of people don't understand about trauma, about any kind of life-changing event, big or small, is that the person you were, the life you lived before, suddenly vanishes. And you grieve your own death. And how do we grieve our own death? It's a lifetime of grieving. We let go of the things we can let go of. We hold on to the memories that we cherish. We let go of the people that no longer fit our new selves. And we hold on to those people that stuck by us and hung around. And then there are those that you have to rebuild a totally, completely different relationship with. Your significant other is very different. The relationship, the dynamic, the friendships, they all change. And it's a season of letting go, and it's a season of grabbing on. And some days you're holding on for dear life and thinking, you know what, that other side of this life looked a lot better than what I'm living right now. And so there's also the battle of that. And those are battles that we don't talk about. We don't talk about those moments where we're laying there wishing that life could end, because today it's just too hard. And you don't have to have a major tragedy. It can be one stub toe, a broken egg, whatever the case may be. It takes the smallest things to set us over the edge.
Yes.
I call those the micro traumas of life. And the micro traumas of life destroy us because we bury them. They're not big enough to warrant a podcast or an interview or a book. But those micro traumas that we deal with day in and day out make or break us. You blowing the horn at a driver or anything else, they always pop up.
And
And
it's
then the
all about
major,
what you do about it at that time. Hey, how are you going to handle it? Are you going to allow it to take your life over and to set you off and to make you feel negative about life and things like that? If
yes,
you would like to
definitely.
tell us actually what happened to you, let's start at the
Yes,
beginning
yes,
because
yes.
you didn't always look like this.
No,
I,
no, no.
I'll show them a picture of you quickly of how you looked. So yeah, look, this is how she looked, eh?
Yes, and now
Chelsea,
let's hit rewind.
yes, let's
Um,
rewind and tell us what happened, eh?
that photo was taken a week before. Well, 2 years ago today, as a matter of fact, a week before the attack. I had adopted another Great Dane. He was my 10th. Rescued Great Danes for years. For 20 years, I've had Great Danes in my house, 4, 5, 6 at a time. And this one particular Sunday evening, some dogs out in the back, when they went out of sight, this pup I had rescued turned on me. And by pup, he was about 175. I'm 100 pounds, 105 on a good day. Um, Lunged at me and came and took the left side of the face and the ear. I
Wow.
fell and busted the chin open, and he got the right side. And I turned and I covered the carotid, and he began to eat the rest of my scalp and forehead off. And so
Did you at any time faint or pass out, or were you awake the whole time?
I, I was awake. I was awake. I remember the brain has a funny way of taking care of us and putting memories in a place that we can't access easily. There are bits and pieces that I remember. None of those bits and pieces are connected or cohesive or fluid. They're memorable visions. I remember looking up and seeing my other dog, Amelia, who's right here at my feet, in the corner shivering. Of course, she had declared her pack. Her pack was me. She
Wow.
knew she couldn't help me, and she was just mortified in the corner. I remember seeing that. I do remember trying to get towards the back sliders. The back of my house opens up, there are doors, and I knew that if I could get back there and open one, he would run out. I did open the door, it appears, by photographs, but it looks more like I laid out on my back patio in different places for quite some time. I
Oh,
don't remember that. And then I appear on my neighbor's cameras. I appear on my outdoor cameras. I appear on my front doorbell camera. I don't remember going to my front door. And then I appear at their front door camera.
wow. So you actually have videos of how your dog attacked you.
Yes.
How long have you had the dog and how long have he started to get to know you?
Well, I had had him for just about a month, just a little over a month. And just like any other Great Dane, just goofy, clumsy, silly, nothing, nothing out of the ordinary whatsoever. Um, and it was the week before he had jumped into my bed overnight. I had gotten up and gotten back into bed, and it startled him, and he launched over and bit my arm,
Oh,
through blood,
oh,
and I ignored it. I ignored it. I didn't say anything. I called the rescue that I had gotten him from, asked them about the behavior. Of course, they hadn't seen anything. Come to find out, they had only had him 2 days, so not very long at all. But knowing what I know about animals, I just played it off, and that was my mistake.
Yeah,
Um,
like something like, well, he just needs to get to know me a little bit, and maybe
an
you
accident.
startled him, you know.
Mhm. Yep.
Wow.
And that probably was the case, but what I have learned since, which I knew, is that once animals taste blood, human blood particularly, they like to go back. They are born of wolf. It
Mm.
is in their DNA. It's not their instinct to do that, but it is in their DNA to go back to that. Um,
Wow.
so I knew that and I ignored it. And I have since, you know, researched quite a bit about it, just to make sure any any situation like that, you have to lose your dog. But what they force the owners to do is to surrender their dog. And being farm girl, loving my dogs, loving my animals, supporting rescues, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. And then knowing that I could not control the fate of whose home he landed in next, it became a matter of a life and death decision for the future of. And to this day, I grieve my dog.
Wow, that's horrifying. That's very scary to think about it. Um, Personally, I'm very scared of bigger dogs as well, because I have um, seen someone who's been bitten by a dog as well when I was a little younger, and that just scared me for bigger dogs, and especially dogs that is aggressive. I will immediately then give it up for adoption, but I never really had many dogs. I Because of that reason. Wow, wow, this is whew. So when your neighbors found you, um,
They thought that I was a teenage boy playing a prank, it, getting ready for Halloween, quite early. That they had no idea that it was their neighbor, and they
actually,
knew me well. They had no idea that it was me. They couldn't recognize me until I spoke.
my,
Um, there's, I had the wherewithal. I guess there were some towels laying outside. I put one of those over my head. I remember putting one of those over my head to hold on to, I think, the right ear.
oh, wow, wow. Sure, I am so sorry that you had to go through that, but the fact that you are still alive, Chelsea. Now, see, that is what this show is about, is the hope part that you now give people, you know, that life can go on, and you have to accept who you are
Everything.
now and how you look now, because you are actually a very pretty woman.
Yeah, yeah. I have the surgery team. If looks were all that mattered, they definitely. I mean, I'm right at that age, 40 years old. Who doesn't want a facelift at 40? Thank you, insurance. But certainly not this way. And if you are thinking about a facelift, trust me, it is not for the weak. It is not for the weak.
Yes.
I would not elect for it.
I saw you. I think it was last week or the week before, when you had your operation done,
Hmm.
and you look completely different. You have really healed up quite a lot in this. Is it, how long is it now? A week, two
2 weeks
weeks,
today. Two
two
weeks
weeks
today.
today?
I saw my surgeon, and he
Wow.
said that he's never seen progress like this.
This is
And so, yeah, it's diet,
amazing. Your
nutrition,
eyes were
sleep.
completely shut, and I was thinking that you maybe might postpone today's show, because would not be able to look through your eyes. But what I'm seeing today is such a remarkable difference to 2 weeks ago. Sure. And if you want to see that, you should go onto Chelsea's Facebook or her website, and you will get to learn a little bit more about her story there as well. It will be in the description on the top. So Yes, but getting back to the story. So, did they take you to the hospital or did they phone the ambulance?
They called 911. Fortunately, there was an ambulance close by that had gone on another call. The ambulance had blood on board. By that time, I had died twice. Um, Ambulance got there, and what kind of, for me, felt like, all of it just in an instance. And then between the house and the hospital, I coded 2 more times and went immediately into surgery. And I was in surgery until late that night and sent to ICU. I had none of my scalp. It was pretty well wide open, just a skull.
Wow. But the
And I had a
fact
blood
that,
clot in my right vertebral artery. And so essentially, I was sent to ICU to die, either from throwing a clot or an infection. And then when I just didn't die, they let me go to trauma step down, which isn't much better than ICU. And I stayed there for quite some time. And then they finally let me go home, and I had home health for another 6 to 8 weeks until I fired home health and went to the gym. And
wow,
that's when I started healing. I
wow.
took my life back and I said,
And
you know
how
what?
long was that complete entire process till you went to the gym that day?
3 months.
Wow.
3 months.
But it is
I woke
incredible.
up and couldn't take it anymore.
Wow. It is incredible to think that he attacked you and he attacked your head and it didn't influence your brain because by the looks of it and the sound of it, your brain was completely protected still.
Oh,
And
yeah.
because your memory and everything is still intact.
Oh, yeah. No, I never I fell on my chin. So I never hit the head directly. So all of it was tissue and tissue, nerves, muscles, all the things. So nothing ever went that far. I would say that all the drugs they had me on probably did a little worse on the brain than the actual accident, but have since rebuilt that.
Wow, this is amazing to hear. It is incredible. Um,
What I'm lucky is the scars go pretty low on both brow, and so I'm very lucky to have my vision. And that's the blessing. I'm among so many other blessings with all of this. When you see my pictures, that's me with makeup and a wig, and can't tell anything. And doing these podcasts right after the surgery, the one I did in the hospital, they add truth to the story, because the reason so many people are drawn to my story is because it's very hard to believe, and they're waiting on the catch.
mm,
Um, and there's no catch. It really did happen, and I really did recover against all odds and clinical explanation.
this is
I tell
amazing.
people that it's, by the grace of God and whatever He has
Planned for
brought me here
you.
to say, may I say it, and say it well and say it right. My life is His. It's always been His. And I believe that He's using this experience to deliver a message. And together we'll find out what that is.
Yes, I believe in that because if anybody has listened to my story previously as well and going through a lot of grief and tragic events in my life, and it's also made me a stronger person today, then you'll realize that it's not just, I don't think God wants us to think something must happen to us first before we start to believe in him, and before we start to believe in life, and that we should just live life to the fullest today. We should just believe and just do it, just live your life to the fullest and enjoy what you have, because you never know when it can be taken away from you.
Yep.
Yes.
You're exactly right. And the last thing that you're thinking about, if do you ever have time to, realize that you are dying? Last thing you're thinking about is status, finances, house, clothes, jewelry. Oh goodness, no, you're thinking about that. Oh my God, did I tell my dad I love him? Did I talk to my mom today? Yeah, you're not thinking about anything but the people you love.
Yes.
Like the time you missed. All of that time that you wasted on those things that don't matter.
Have you changed in a way, in a manner, to say that you have become closer to your family since everything happened?
Oh, definitely. There's not a day goes by that I don't touch base, talk. My relationships with my friends, I talk to them every day. One in particular, my best friend, we have our morning chat every single morning, and it's without fail. Not unless I'm, of course, in the hospital and whacked out. But
Not yourself.
those conversations can be interesting too. But you
Uh,
see, my point is the time and the moments that you have, whether in conversation or one on one, they are more valuable than anything. And time is the very most valuable thing we all have, and it's not reusable. You can't recycle it. You can't bring it back. You can't rewind.
wow. You
You
are
just
blessed to
have
have
it.
a friend like that.
Yes.
Really nice to
Yes.
have a friend like that. I must say, being in America since we immigrated here, the thing that I miss most is my friends, because of the time zone in South Africa and things like that. The friends started to become quiet, and I really miss them, and sometimes feel like, what? They don't worry about me anymore.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yes, it is definitely amazing when you do have those friends that constantly look up on you, are you okay? How are you doing? And not just
Yep.
because they want to just like be there and say, oh, let me just say hello. It's
I
like
know.
really
Yep.
want to
Or if they
be
need
there.
something.
Yes, yes,
Yep. No, it's relationships. Relationships are the backbone of each of us. I'm here in Florida. My family, I grew up in Tennessee, and so they're not right here beside me. And so a lot of times the phone is the best I can do. And some days I wake up and I've just got to get in the car and go. I'm like 8 hours. It's I can't take it back. I can't get it back. So I might as well go.
yes, yes. So tell me, how did this all change your life? What have who is Chelsea today?
Chelsea's still figuring that out. Every day there's a new piece. What I will tell you is that the things that were important aren't important anymore. The material things of life, the status, the jobs, the titles, the cars, whatever you want to, consider success, measure success by.
Mhm.
Those things really don't matter. I love different, and I can't really explain that. And I have my fourth book that I'm writing right now. It's called Layers of Love, and
Ah, so that is what you've been up to. Hey, you've
I
been
have been writing. Yes, I've got
oh,
four down, four down, five on go. So we'll get to one, but the layers of love, that's been the piece of my puzzle that I'm looking at, because when I look at love before and think
mhm.
about it, it was a connection. but it wasn't anything that I wanted to cling to. And when I have watched my parents, my friends, my boyfriend, relationships, those around me go through their trauma from my trauma. The collateral damage is real.
Yeah.
I've had to watch how their love changed, how their language changed,
Wow.
how their reactions changed, and
Towards you or in their
yes,
lives?
both in like my parents' marriage. They've been married for 100 years. This is the forever since they were high school sweethearts, forever and ever. But just their connection, their relationship, my relationships with my family, my friends,
Mm.
the bond is so much stronger, and there are more layers to that love because when you are faced with death and you beat death, there's a vulnerability that's alive that you can't undo. You can't take it back.
Wow.
Those vulnerabilities have been let go. And when that mask or that shield has been ripped from you, you have to love authentically. And that's the most painful kind of love because it's deep and the slightest things can upset and hurt and the reactions are different. So it's a beautiful thing, but it's also that very painful thing, that risk of, okay, as human beings, we guard ourselves, whether you like to admit it or not. We prepare once, if we, like Amelia, when I got her, I know the timeline of Great Danes. I began to prepare myself mentally and emotionally for the inevitable. And then that's why I got the backup dog so that I could cushion. Well,
Yeah.
same with parents, grandparents, relationships, everything else. We guard ourselves. And so we're not wide open. When you come close to death, you don't have a choice but to be wide open and living out loud and open. And it's a risk. There's
Yes.
danger.
Yes.
And so that's
Yeah,
what
that
layers of
cannot be
love kind of
replaced, things like that cannot be replaced.
Nope, nope. And it's like, well, you don't understand the time. I need to spend that time with you. And so not everyone, carries time with the same value as I do.
Yes.
So there's a learning curve to it that I'm getting to. But I would say that everything about who I am is different. Um, other than ironically enough, other than what you see physically, not today, but in a couple more weeks when all of this is gone, I look exactly the same, but I'm not the same person. And you can't come back from anything the same.
Yeah.
Divorce, same thing. Can't come back the same.
Yeah. No, I personally have gone through a divorce as well, so I know exactly how that feels.
Yeah.
And it changed and like I say, I've lost my entire family, six members, my mom, dad, three sisters, and my brother. And it changed you. You cannot be the same person after so much has happened to you. But what we definitely learn is we learn to live with that. And
Yeah, running to love with him.
yes,
Yeah.
sometimes you think about how you used to treat people, and then they come visit you or you see them, and you cannot be the same person in front of them anymore. And for you to realize that you have changed when they say you like a different person, it's because they haven't been there in the times when you were so broken and you had to stand up all by yourself sometimes, when you in your room and you feel like, oh, my muscles are sore and I don't feel like getting up and things like that. Mentally, physically, they were not there. And then you had to get up by yourself. It changed you. It
It does.
changed you completely.
It does.
So tell me, your 4 books, are the 3 published at this moment? The other 3,
No.
you are now publishing
So,
another one, or you
yep,
publishing 4 books?
the first one is in the works. I wrote to
Mm,
heal. I didn't write to publish. And
okay.
so a friend of mine was reading and said, why not fish it out? And I said, okay, jokingly, I'll fish this manuscript out. And then I said, if this manuscript gets a deal, I'll open the foundation. And then
So what deal are you talking about then?
the book deal.
A book deal.
So yeah, I fished it out to the big ones, knowing that no one would pick me up. And I got picked up for a book deal. And so yeah,
Wow.
so the my publisher, it's Franklin International Publishing. They have the manuscript. They've been building it out. I continue to get calls daily from a couple of other big publishers. And after the book deal, I opened the foundation. That's the rf180.org. And what that foundation is designed to do is further support nonprofits designed to help people through trauma, through grief, and through devastation. And it was a matter of setting up the foundation because there wasn't one area that I wanted to support. There were way too many. And so I thought, you know what, if I can do this and if I can collect donations and support the welfare of men, women, children, families, and pets, then I've encompassed everything that I love and value.
Wow. That is
Yes, and
amazing.
my comeback story is everyone else's comeback story. I'm doing this for everyone else because I learned that I can't do it for me yet. I don't know who I am yet. And so I've got to do it for you. And you will help me continue doing it for me. Does that make any sense to anybody? Without you, I can't do this. And so if I can fund your recovery, then I can recover too, because you're going to teach me something that I need to know.
Yes, that is exactly how I look at it again.
Yeah.
For me to listen to your story makes me feel that I can become stronger
Yep.
because of everything I had to go through. See, that is how life works sometimes, is our story uplifts someone else. Our story does not uplift us.
Yeah, you're
Because
exactly
the
right.
more you think about your own story, it feels like it breaks you down, because spiritually and mentally, it's you're broken inside. But by listening to other people's stories, it uplifts you. And yeah, I agree 100% by that, because I've been listening to a few people's stories now since I've got my podcast, and it has uplifted my spirit tremendously
Oh
already.
yeah.
It is amazing to have people share their story, like you also sharing your story because you want to help someone else again. And yeah, wow,
It's
it's amazing.
validating.
Yeah.
It's validating because with your story, with my story, we lived it, we survived it. And when you're the one in the driver's seat, it's very hard to see the scope. And it wasn't until I started sharing my story, which was a year after, if not more, probably, yeah, at least a year afterwards,
Okay.
that crowds started to gather. I talked to 2 people and look up, and suddenly there were 15 people standing around. And I thought, what is going on? And then it became a matter of doing one podcast and waking up the next morning to an inbox full and one media post. And I'm looking at 111 messages in my inbox and I'm thinking, okay, what am I missing? And it turns out that I had unvalidated my trauma. I had gone ahead and said, you know what? I did make a full recovery. I'm still the pretty little blonde girl, still got the job, the business. Life is exactly the same on the outside, right? Looks the same on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
On the inside, of course, nothing. But I had gone ahead and undone all of the work, all of the progress that I had made in the validation, and I had to start all over.
Wow.
And that's where the book started coming from, is recounting my own story. And there were moments that I would tell it, and I'm like, it's got to be a lie. So look, I felt like a liar. I had already stopped believing that it happened.
Sure. Wow. So
Talk about
it's
somebody
like you.
that had to go back to therapy 101. I walked into my therapist and I'm like, one of the four I had, because I mean, I had armed myself well. And I walked in and I told her, I'm like, okay, so I've undone everything I thought we did, and I got to hit rewind. And she said, I was wondering when you would figure that out. And I'm thinking, you could have told me sooner. She's like, I just needed you to get out of denial. And that's what it is. When something is so hard, so heavy, it's easier to unvalidate it, because then we don't have to think about it. We can just move on,
Yes.
and go about it. Yes, full recovery. Look at me, cheerlead, yay, rah. Life is
Yes.
good.
Yes. No, that's definitely true. Wow. Yeah. So if you can give our audience out there just a little bit of courage for today, what would that be?
Stay in today. Stay in today. Just
Stay.
stay in today. Just get up and get through today. And then take care of tomorrow. Because the one thing that is going to ruin your progress is thinking 6 months from now, 6 weeks from now, next year. It's going to delay any kind of progress, any movement. It's going to keep you out of the moments of today. And if you look around, I set out for 3 months, and I said, and this was the 3 months that I was ready just to be dead again, a really, really low place. And I set out to God, if I'm meant to stay here, then please put somebody in front of me that is going to take the shovel out of my hand, because I am digging my own grave.
Sure.
And sure enough, every day for 3 months, random stranger in the grocery store, somebody on the sidewalk, somebody in the gym, somebody at the coffee shop, every single time, 3 months, every day.
Wow.
And I thought, oh my God.
Amazing story. Wow. Yes, because I believe God sends people in your way. You know, you might have a negative thought and don't want to go on with life, and then someone come and they tell their little story about today, and
Oh yeah.
like, wow,
Oh yeah.
maybe I should just focus on today a little bit. You know, let's
Yep.
go on to tomorrow and focus on that again when it
Yeah.
gets there.
Yep. And it really is. It's just a matter of staying here, staying like in our conversation, with all the distractions, with my tech difficulties. Again, I am seeking tech help. But nobody comes to my house. Nobody comes to my house. No, I mean,
Um, well,
that's
awesome.
Amelia. And I think another part of life that people really can't believe is that I still have Great Danes in my house. Amelia. Yeah, another unbelievable piece of that puzzle is what you still have dogs, what you still work with sanctuaries, rescues, farms. Yep. I that was another piece that I had to go back and check. Everyone, assumes you're supposed to be terrified of dogs. And suddenly I have all these dogs jumping on me. And a friend of mine looked over and said, does that not scare you? And I thought, huh, nope, I guess not. And so, yeah, I mean, I've got dogs jumping and tackling and go, go, go. And no, so not only did I have my entire face and scalp ripped off, but look perfectly normal post, surgery, but I still have a house full of animals and Great Danes, and still you see my pictures on Facebook. They're at one of the sanctuaries with the baby pig and the horses and the donkeys.
Wow. Wow. No, definitely. Wow. No, you are such an inspiration. And if I can take some inspiration from you and say, you know what, if you can do it, I can do it, then I'm definitely taking this from you today.
Yeah. No, you have to, and I'm not good at it. I'm a type A. I'm ADHD. Sitting still isn't my thing. I love working out. I love people. I love being out. I love spending my day social. And doesn't have to be doing anything social, but just out in that energy. And so, on sick leave, hospital leave, definitely takes me off. And then having to sit in the house for 3 weeks and recover when I'm sitting here wanting to go back to the studio, I work out and see people that I can have a casual conversation with and do normal life.
Yes.
And what I've had to work very hard on is giving myself grace and allowing myself to take the time to rest. And, for me, I had to look at that from a standpoint of anatomy and biology and research it and make myself believe that it was in my best physical interest to sit still and justify it. So
Very
whatever
cool.
it takes to give yourself that grace, to give yourself that time. We all need mental health days. I remember there was a big push for mental health days, schools, work for all of us. I don't know what happened to that,
Mm.
but once a week, statistically, research has proven once a week, if not more, we all need a mental health day. And that is one day to do something that refeeds your spirit.
Yes, something for yourself, eh?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Just
No, I also love my writing and just being focused in myself and my stories, because by the end of the day, that's also just something that I have now to keep myself busy with, and enjoying that. And then just looking at my children and my blessings. And then, yeah, then life is good. That's all you need, hey, is just that blessings and people in
I
your
mean,
life.
it is. We lose sight of that, especially when life gets heavy. When life gets heavy, um, there's still days, and I will not lie, and I don't think that I'm any different than anyone else. There's still days that I just don't want to keep going.
Mm,
That, everybody's in a bad mood. I'm looking for one person to, you know, give me
uplift
some
you.
kind of good news. The dog's eating the homework. Just it's a horrible day. We
Yeah.
all have them. We all have them. And I mean, just because you say, what, I'd rather be anywhere but here on planet Earth. Nobody's gonna put you in the crazy house. We
Yes.
all have those breakdowns. We all have those moments, and it's really time for humans to be humans and not pretend that this life is fantastic. Because accident or no accident, hardship or no hardship, it's hard, it's tough, and we need each other, and we need to be real. And
Yes.
it's going back to those micro traumas of life. If you keep burying it, it will bury you.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Well, Chelsea, it is really nice to have had you on my podcast today,
Thank you.
and for you to share your story like this. And what an amazing story.
Mm.
So, if you would like to learn more about Chelsea, please go up into the description above the video and you will get all her details and read about her story in her new book that's coming out soon. And yes,
Yeah.
thank you very much for being on my show. I really
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yep, that one Shattered Day will be the first book to hit the shelves. So I haven't decided on the release date yet. Gonna do quite a bit of pre-launch. I enjoy doing the podcast. Right now I'm working with different people in coaching and really love giving back. The foundation, if you're a volunteer donor, please consider us if you're thinking. Definitely have more needing than I have available to give. So any support, even a message, you have no idea what the messages mean. And if you need help, I'm here.
Good, good. Well, thank you so much for that message. Well, you are watching Give Me Hope with Johanna, and if you have not yet read my stories, feel free to also find my books, Life Think Again, Navigating Through Losses and Grief, Think Again, and also my third book now, Unseen Tears Beneath the Mask, available on Amazon. Thank you very much for watching us today. We will be back next week with another amazing story. This is Give Me Hope with Johanna, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
This has been Give Me Hope with your host, Johanna Vendel. Join Johanna each week and harness the transformative power of storytelling to facilitate healing and growth.